Good morning to you once more, and by now you will know this voice, and my name is Sydney Morgan, and I am here with you at the Argyle International Airport site today, Friday the 11th day of March 2016. Normally Saturdays are my visiting days here at the airport site, but whenever I do a visit on Friday is because I have an activity to attend on the Saturday. And not wanting to miss anything, I choose to come here on the Friday to get an update of the work that has taken place since my last visit over the past week. Now I'm here as usual at the south end. I'm on southeastern end of the southwestern end, of the airport site, and I'm taking a look at the work that has taken place down here over the past week. Now, if you see in the video there, you're seeing the black pipe for the fuel that the pipes will be heading down to the Stubbs Bay, and not far from behind me here is where we have the Stubbs Bay. The guys are laying down the pipe on the southern side of the McConaughey Hill, starting all the way up there from where we have the fencing already erected. Now, the hill, the McConaughey Hill, where they're doing that work, where they're taking down that hill, the fuel pipes will be passing in that area, but currently no work can be done regarding the fuel pipes nor the fencing because of the fact that the hill is still there. So what the guys have done is that they come in the area south of the hill where the preparation work has already been done and start to lay down the pipe, and the pipes will be running all the way across here on the ground and going all the way somewhere over the bank, I believe. I can't say yet for sure. It could very well pass further up or go down on the back side rather than to come over here. It can probably go around this area here where you have a cutout space. I can't say yet for sure, but what I can let you know, up to this point, they have gotten with the laying of the pipe for the fuel farm. Now, as I speak with you, today is Friday, the 11th day, and there is supposed to be a town hall meeting at the Stubbs Gospel Hall. This meeting was with Rubis and the IADC personnel, giving the people of Stubbs and surrounding area an update as to what will take place regarding these fuel pipes and the docking of the fuel ship there at the Stubbs Bay to transport the fuel to the fuel farm just above the airport site close to the main road. Now, no activity is taking place just yet on the site. It is just about 6:15 my time. I've been here since 6 o'clock this morning, and normally 6 o'clock is when they start working. Now, I am here this early because I have to leave early in order to be able to attend that town hall meeting at the Stubbs Gospel Hall, so that I can bring you some information regarding what was said and done at that meeting. So down here I'm on the southeastern side of the fencing, and you would have seen in last week's video the work here. There is nothing different here down here, but just letting you know what is taking place currently. And little later on in the day, as I move northward, I'm going to see some activity taking place. But I am making my usual visit in my usual area. I'm going up on the fourth hill right now, and then I will give you a look at the back side of the area where they're doing the backfilling south of the site, the area of the Stubbs Bay. The sun is just peeping out behind those clouds out there on the east. This is just to tell you how early it is here. Should be about approaching 6:30 here at the airport site, and I am now on top of the fourth hill, just looking around the site. And from where I'm at here on the fourth hill, I can hear the sound of one of the caterpillars as it starts up and getting ready to start the day's work here at the Argyle International Airport site. From the looks of things, they seem as though they have finished taking out the stone that they need to be crushed, because all where you're seeing those big boulders, those boulders come from off the Makani Hill and was dumped there. But before that happened, they had dug out all here, because if you can recall, all that area over there was like there was a deep hole there. Now you're seeing that they have moved all the dirt and stuff that they needed to be crushed, and it seems as though they are finished with this area. They are filling it up back now with boulders and other dirt come from off the Makani Hill, and bringing back this area to a level. So I am not quite sure as yet why they are doing it, if they are going to bring it back to the level that it was and leave it like that. But the way things are looking, it could very well be that case, because it wouldn't make sense you dig out stuff and then you dump them back in. So this is what is happening. And right here in front of us, we still have stones that can be crushed. So I am not yet sure how they're going to do this area, if they're going to continue to dig it down or if they're going to fill it back up. Now I've learned that they get stuff also from Argyle. There is also a crushing mill out there that can give you at least 4 different types of stuff. You have aggregates, even sand that you're getting from the Argyle stuff. So I guess they'll be using a lot of that, and that mill is being run now by the airport company so far, and they're bringing stuff from there to bring down here to the site to be used in the building of the roads, the asphalting of the roads, and the concrete works to be done on areas where there is concrete works taking place. We are here at the Makani Hill, where they're taking down this hillside. There has been some blasting here during this week, about 2-3 days in this week, and you can see the drill is still on the hill, where they're drilling into the rocks there and taking it down. All in front of us on the coming below where the drill is there, those are areas that have been pushed over. So not too long from now, we're going to see the trucks moving away those dirt and stones that come down off of the hill there. So the hill is coming down, still a bit of it to go. My bet is that by the end of this month we shall see all of this hill coming down, but we'll just have to wait and see. But so far this is what is happening here with the Makani Hill. And like I have told you before, this hill has to come down, this area, so that we can have the fencing connecting with each other. We have fencing already on my right up to the barefoot gutter area, and we have fencing already done up to a certain point down there in the distance. And when all this hillside is taken down, then the fencing work along with the fuel pipe work will be done in this area. So this hill is the only obstacle now in the way of these 2 sets of work that are left to be done here regarding the airport side. We are here at the Alpha Taxiway, and where you can see the start laying down the second layer of asphalt on this, the Alpha Taxiway. This is the southern end of the taxiway. As we look across here, you can see the cargo terminal building in the end over there. So the work over the past week since I visited on Saturday gone, the 5th of March, work continues here regarding the asphalting work here on this, the Alpha Taxiway. Now that white object you're seeing right ahead of us there, that is piece of the PVC pipe that they're going to put underground to run the cables through to light this area of the Alpha Taxiway. Right along the stretch of the Alpha Taxiway, just like how we have it on the runway itself, there are going to be side lights running across. So where this pole, where this white cable is, this white PVC pipe is, this is the area where one of the lights will be going, and ending up right there where we have that elbow kicking up in the air. And you see two of the workers on the site already, yeah, heading probably where they're going to do some work this morning. So this is the pipe here. You're seeing where the conduit, the cables are going, the electrical cables, and right where it ends there, there's where the light will be. You would have seen a lot of them on the runway itself coming up, where we have those yellow fittings on the shoulder area of the runway as we come towards the north. Well, something similar to that is going to take place there. Right here you already have one now laid underground. So just as what we now look at the PVC pipe down there, this is exactly what it's going to end up looking like after the pipe is being placed into position. And as you know, when all here is asphalted, when the asphalt work, because as you notice, they're doing the second layer of asphalt. But this area, this stone area is the shoulder area. This will only have one layer. But the area where the aircraft will actually be passing on will have two layers. So these conduit, these pipes fitting for the electrical cable have to be put in place before you start doing the asphalt work here. So when here is asphalted, afterwards they will come back and cut out the area where the light supposed to go, the light fitting, and put on the fitting. Now I'm going up on top of the bank side up there to give you an overhead view of what this Alpha Taxiway looks like from on top of the hill up there. So here am I on top of the bank side, just below the control tower area, looking back at the Alpha Taxiway where they would have done some asphalt paving on the second layer of the Alpha Taxiway. We have about 4 sections that they would have done of varying lengths, and I don't know if they will be doing any asphalting work today. If so, maybe later on. But this is what you're seeing here that has taken place between Sunday this week and yesterday. From where I'm at over here, I can see just in front of the cargo terminal building. And if you recall last week when they were putting down the siding, well, when I get across there, I will show you exactly what has taken place. Trucks are here busy. They're taking down that bank side just south there of the electrical substation. So there you can see the actual work taking place here at the airport side. Before our eyes here we have the concrete work that has been done this week actually. Remember last week when we came here, they were putting down the sidings for this particular type of work. Now they would have done one section of it, and right in front of us here, this other area is left to be done. And I don't know if they'll do it today or tomorrow, whenever, but I guess The next time I come back here, all of this area will be concreted. And now that the work has been completed on the cargo terminal building, which is before us here, we have activity taking place regarding the concrete works, and I would have learned that this area here will be asphalted. I don't know as yet, but I will have to wait and see. But I believe it will, because based on what I'm seeing now, if any concrete work were to continue on this side, we would have had some steels hanging out at the side here. But as you can see, or we would have had a groove so that the other concrete works would fit in. But as you can see, the siding of this molding here is smooth, in opposed to this one here that you're looking at right now, which has that extra piece fit onto it, which will give it a groove when the concrete is being done. Now this is to give you an idea as to what I'm talking about. The siding of this concrete works here, you have a groove in it, so when you pour the other concrete, it kind of locks into that one there. So this is what I'm talking about regarding this end over here, where we have the smooth side of the molding and no groove. Therefore here will be filled with stone, and then it will be asphalted. Now here you see the concrete works and the step down. Remember last week I told you in this area we're going to have that step down piece just like we had in the north, and just like we had on the turning heads, where you're going to have the asphalt work, and then the asphalt work is going to come over this concrete and flush with the rest of the apron. So as you can see with this type of work here, you know for sure that this area here will be asphalted. So we are here at the area of the cargo terminal building. Last week they were putting up the boxing for this piece of sidewall here, which will separate the cargo section building from the rest of the airport. People who are coming to this area to collect or to deliver cargo will not have to come over on this side. A gate, I understand, will be going across here, so I am wondering if the fencing will be passing on the outside of this area of the wall. But I don't know as yet, but as the work continues and it progresses, I am going to be able to get a better understanding as to what is taking place. Now the guys are here on site. They are working on the drainage system, and I'm going a bit closer to see exactly what they are doing. So as you're seeing, they're putting down the steel matting for the drainage works here. After those steels matting are in place, they will start pouring the concrete on them, and then they start running the blocks to channel the water to the area where it's supposed to go. The work here on the taxi shed or taxi hut is going up quite nicely. We see now they have reached the top where they have the ring beam going up, and it looks as though they're going to be a small decking on the outside. If you notice, we have some bamboos there on the outside. So things are happening here regarding this aspect of the work, where we're going to have the housing for the taximen who will be working here at the airport site. Nothing is happening here right now regarding work on this building itself. Apparently they are waiting for concrete to pour in the boxing area we have up there at the top of the blocks. But very soon we'll see this building up and ready. It seems as though it is being done by a private contractor. And this is just to give you an idea of the progress of the work on this particular building here. We are here at the north end, the northwestern side of the commercial apron area. Heading towards the 191. This is an extra area where we have some concrete works to be done here. The guys are now preparing the area where they're going to do the concrete works. As you can see, here we have a manhole through which we have some cables running. They have already made a boxing around this hole so that the concrete will come around that boxing. And down there, they're doing the similar work there, preparing that area around that manhole where the concrete will be passing. And most likely by the end of today we will have some activity here taking place where they're continuing with the concrete works here on this side of the site. The concrete works have gotten as far as this area here, and they are continuing with it, going all the way out to the end. How far down they're going to come with this concrete work that they're doing here right now, I can't say for sure. It could very well be to the point there where we have that step down in line with that, and they continue with the step down like how they have it over there. I don't know yet, but as we come here week after week, we are going to really see what is taking place. But for this work to come further down here, if it is going to come all the way out, we should have some work being done here on this drain to enable the concreting of the work coming all the way down here. But we don't know yet. I don't know yet actually, but I'll keep monitoring it until I get to understand exactly what they're doing. But this is what is happening now here on the outside of the, just outside of the terminal building, the passenger terminal building, coming towards the north side where they're doing the concrete works, as you can see there. And that is probably the reason why the guys, these same guys who are doing this work are the guys who do the other areas of the apron, and that is why probably they are not down there on the south side, where just in front of the cargo terminal building, doing the rest of the concrete work. So this could be the reason. The workmen, the work is slowing down gradually week after week, and as the work gets less and less, the workmen are being reduced, and a lot of the Cuban workers have already gone home. Some of them went back at the end of February. Last week all we had was stones in this area, and you remember there was some stakes running from a certain point going straight across this area here, and I told it looks as though this is the point to which they are going to get with the pavement of asphalt for the taxiway, coming in line with that step down area where they have there. Now I'm here back this week, I am seeing some new development where they would have laid down the first layer of asphalt work up to the point in line with the apron where we have the step down just there in front of us, with all this area coming back to this gutter here will be asphalted. But I just want to show you the progress of the work taking place here over this week here in the Alpha Taxiway, where they're doing the asphalt pavement work. Now from here I'll be going across to the Charlie Taxiway to see exactly what has happened over there, and then bring you some updates. We are here at the Charlie Taxiway, where they would have done some asphalting works here during this week, linking the Charlie Taxiway to the Alpha Taxiway. Now last week when I was here, all we had here was the base stones. Now you're seeing the asphalting work, and this is the first layer of asphalt work. There is still another layer to go on top of this one that we have here. So very soon we're going to see the second layer of asphalt work going on. They would have already started it on the Bravo taxiway end, and now they have done the first layer here on this, the Charlie taxiway. Here we have one of our Cuban workers doing some inspection or some measurements in this area, and not too long from now we are going to have more asphalting work being done here on this, the Charlie taxiway, and also on the apron, the shoulder area of this side. Now the most disappointing thing has happened to me this morning is that my battery for my still camera has gone dead on me, and I do not have a backup batteries. I usually used to have 3 batteries, but 2 of them kick out on me a good while now because they were actually clones, not the original Nikon battery, and they were my backup batteries, and they have gone bad, and I wasn't able to replace them. And the one that I have, when I thought it was fully charged because it was showing me a full charge, come here on the site just in the area of the taxiway, the Charlie taxiway, trying to take some photographs. My still camera kicked out on me. So whatever progress of the work I have to do here will have to be done through this video recording, and no more still pictures because my camera is not functioning due to the fact that the battery has gone dead and I do not have a backup batteries. Here on the shoulder way we have, and this is in the 2nd kilometer of the runway, we have base stones being laid, and very soon, well, they will be leveled off properly and compacted, and then we'll have the asphalt work. But this is in preparation for the rest of the work that will be taking place coming up from north of the Charlie taxiway down there, coming towards the north to link to the 191 tunnel and heading towards the north. Here we have truckloads and truckloads upon truckloads of aggregates already dumped here on this area of the runway and shoulder altogether, that will be going towards the north, passing over the 191. All that is left to be done with these is to spread them off, to bring them off to a level, and we have the compaction and then the laying down of the rest of the stones. Right now we have a lot of stones here on both sides. We have stones also on the eastern side here, as you can see, to fill up this area. In the center it is already filled up, so what they are going to do now is they're building up the both sides of this area here, the 2nd kilometer of the runway, and as they head towards the north, they are coming from the north with the laying of the base stones, and they are coming down. We have the compactor up there compacting the stones that have already been laid, and things are happening here at the site. As I move towards the north to get a glimpse as to what is happening up there. There you have one of the trucks that are bringing the base stones all the way from the stone crushing plant and actually dumping them here on this side. Now I am looking to see if this truck will be going back towards the stone paver up there, because actually that is what is happening. So this truck is going to take the stone to the stone paver, where they actually laying down base stones up there on this, the 3rd kilometer of the runway, as they come towards the south to link up. And all where I'm at here, you already see stones already being laid as I walk towards the area. Now that area where we have the road coming down from the Argyle Gardens very soon that road will have to be closed, because as you can see how far they have gotten with the stone lane works here, which means that right where that vehicle is going to pass right now, that is the route they're using to get back out onto the main road. Those people who are going to work onto the IIDC office, and very soon that road that this vehicle is using to come out, to get out of the site, where this other one is coming down here from the main road up there, coming to the Argyle Gardens, this road will have to be closed off to accommodate the laying of the stones here on the site here, to continue with the runway itself here. So not too long from now, we are going to see this area close off regarding the vehicular traffic, and they will have to use the road that they're going to build on the north end of the site. Nothing is happening now on the Petrocliff Hill. I am not sure if they're going to do any blasting today. The drill is actually down on the south end of the Makoni-Yami Hill. But this is what you're looking at here with the hill, regarding the work on the hill. And it is coming down quite nicely. I have seen on the side there where they would have done some grading. And I am not too sure if that is a height to which they're going to stay with this hill. I will have to look and see what is going on. But I guess that if they're going to stay right there, that area on top will have to come down a little bit more and bring it down. I just can't say yet, but I will have to wait and see the progress of the work here to give you a better idea as to what is taking place regarding the Petrocliff Hill. Now the truck has already dumped its stone and is on its way down to the south at the stone mill to take another load, while we have this yellow one waiting, being driven by an ex-policeman, call him Das, to dump his load into the stone paver. And all the way in the distance coming up down there is another green one with a load of stones to be dumped there. So the work here, this actual length where they're doing the stone has connected. Both ends have been connected now with this lane of the base stones, and from north to east, from north to west to south, coming all the way from the north going to the south, the stones for the runway have all connected, and now all they have to do now is to come out. They're starting from the center half on the eastern side, from the center go back to the east, and then they will be coming on this area that has not been started as yet to continue with the stone lane works. Well, we have some work going on here with putting up of the meshes on these fencing. The guys are up here doing the fencing work. You see they have the poles up already. So what they are going to do, what they are doing now currently, is to put up the meshes. But up to this point, we have not had any poles planted here where we have the 220 passing. We have not had any poles. We have poles up to this point on this side, on the southern side, and as you can see over there on the northern end. But the area where the river has passed, we do not have any poles as yet, but we have the holes dug there already for the poles. So what they're doing now, they're putting up fencing, the meshes in the areas where they would have already planted poles. Last week these meshes were not actually fastened to the poles. This week they are actually now fastened to the poles. We have the barbed wire running at the top. I'm waiting to have the razor wire placed between the forks where we have those barbed wires. So this is what has happened over the past week here on the eastern side. I'm going to the north. This is the eastern side of the site, just in the area above, north of the 220, in the area where we have the Carib hut there on the back. and this is what we are doing. Now I don't have my still camera working, so I can't take any still pictures of these work, so I'm trying to get as much of it on my video camera, so you will have a better update as to what has taken place here this past week leading up to today, the 11th day of March 2016. Here at the north end of the site, this is at the turning head on the north, we'll see some development here where they're putting down some stones here at the north. Well, what actually happens when it rains, we have like a running of water just here, so they're making like a soak away so that the water can run still underneath, linking back up to the drain over there, and then on top of it they do the compaction here. So this is what is happening, and we have fencing work, the fencing poles coming up on the side over there on the western side and heading towards the north. I am going up to the north to see exactly what is taking place up there, so when I get closer I'm going to give you a better idea. So here we have the continuation of the opening of this trenchway that will be taking the drain right out to the north side, and we see the rain that came yesterday, we see a lot of water settling up down there in that area just in front of us where we have the drain already built. So the guys down there, they are working on the poles for the fencing, and here in front of us we have this piece of equipment clearing the way for the trench so that the guys can come in and do the drainage way, and this drain will be going all the way out and the far end out there to take the water into the gully down there. We have here caterpillar grading off this area, after which we're going to have topsoil being placed here and grade off properly, and then we're going to have it grass. All this amount of rubble we see here, the dirt, stones, everything mixed together, all came from here. Last week, if you can recall, we had a caterpillar digging up this area so that we can have the topsoil being laid. So all of this will happen later on as the work continues here at the airport site, and I am heading up to the north to see what has happened up there since I visited last week. So right before us here we see where they would have done the trench, they dug the trench, and this one is going back towards the gully over there. So this area has already been done now, so not too long from now you may very well find the guys them coming here and start doing the work here on this section of the drain, or probably they might wait until everything is done and start the work. So here another aspect of the work, and I'm going towards the north, and from where I'm here looking back to the north, I am seeing some thing that has been done there during this week, and you see this I've already started to lay down the culvert there, and this is what it's going to be like, and it's true that the water is going to run, and over that area the road will be passing. What you're seeing right there now in the video, you see we have the culvert has already been laid. That is two sides, one at the bottom and one fitting onto the other one, and they're going to cover that area with dirt, no doubt, and they are going to start working on the road in that area there. So last week when we came here this wasn't done, and as you can see the direction to which the water is heading, this area has a grade, but you're not seeing it that pronounced. It is there, but not a big set of grading, just a slight grade enough so that the water can go towards the north. Now you're seeing the build up of this area here. Earlier up we had this area where we had a gutter like on my right there that was taking the water down to the north. Now all the water is going to run towards this gutter area that they're now doing, they're working on here. So all the water from the runway, from the center of the runway, coming off from the runway, is running towards both sides, north and east and west, and going down into the drains that they're building there. So as you know by now, I'm on the north end of the site, and I'm showing you this area where the road will be passing. And like I have told you before, they're going to have to start to step up on the work for this road, because further down you notice where they're laying the stones, they have already connected both sides, and that area where the vehicles are passing to go to the IADC office and to Argyle, they will have to close off there just now. So here we have the direction. You see the guys are over there doing the drainage works, and this drain is going to come all the way along here in this area where we have this pool of water, and this water is settled up there because there is a sink in that area, and this drain is going to come all the way out here to this end and deposit its water into the drain below and take the water out to the end. So here we are at the area where the road is going to pass on the north end of the site. This will be linking up to the main road there just behind me in the area of the Argyle Primary School, where the Argyle Primary School is on the opposite side of the road. And this road is going to take you to Argyle. This will be a permanent access road, and this will be the road that will be used by vehicular traffic when the area that they're using right now, passing across the runway coming down from the Argyle Gardens, when that area is closed off, then vehicular traffic will be flowing in this area. So you see the work has started, the area has been graded, it has been filled up and grade off, and we have a grade going towards the seaside there, and the guys are still working on the area of the drainage coming towards the western side. So we are closer to the drainage work here on the north end of the site, and as you can see right in front of us here, up to the point they would have gotten to actually with the concrete work, they're working out towards the north, and there is not much left to be done here. The guys are working very fast with this work here. So it looks as though a tourist ship is in the harbor. We have a lot of tour buses going towards the north there, as you can see them now pass on the road there. So the work continues here on the drainage, and they're heading over towards the bankside over there where we just came from, where there is also a trench already dug to take the water down to the gully over there where we have those coconut trees on the north. So we see the fencing guys are doing their work here, and they are putting up the poles as the fencing is being done. They are putting up the poles here to run the fencing. Currently it is break time. I'm seeing some people having break. It looks as though these are now going on their break period. Those guys behind me are doing the blocks work for the drainage. It looks as though they are on break now, and these guys here are now going on the break. Now what you're seeing here, we have a drainage system underneath here that will take some of the water from here down towards the sea. As you can see right here in front of us. Some of the water will be going back down to the sea down there through this drain, and I'm not sure if they have any more like this further down. on the lower side down here. But this is what is happening here right now. The guys, so you see exactly what they're doing with the fencing, how they're doing it. In some areas the fencing fall on the outside of the drain, but here we have the fencing is being, the pole for the fencing is planted in line with the drain, just where we have the blocks. And this seems to be the way it is doing done, going all the way up from what I'm seeing right here right now. So you notice the cutout there in this area of the fencing. Now when the road is done and complete, that area will form as a drain off for water coming off the road into the drain. Now most likely at the side here they're going to put a concrete slip drain that if you know how the roads, our roadway are built, where there's a box drain on the side, we have in the side of that raised area where we have the slip drain, we have a cutout so that the water off the road can run through that slip drain, run through that cut area into the box drain as it run along the concrete side of the slip drain. So that is what we have, the reason for this space. And this space will have to be done properly so that no animals can go through them. So when it is being done, because when the fencing passes over that area there, we know we have enough space that a dog could squeeze through. But when the concrete work is completed on the slip drain, all that will be covered up. So it won't be able to be that easy for a dog to pass through. We have this gentleman here doing some plastering work. Maybe he is not one of those who want to go on a break, so he continues to work here as we get this area prepared, plastered, as they usually do in all the other areas where they have this sort of drainage. I don't know if you are as observant as I am, but I am counting to see the space in between where they have this cut out and how much poles are between the spacing. And so far I'm counting 5 poles between each cutout as I come down traveling towards the south. So for all the areas where they have cutouts for the water to go into the box drain there, we have 5 poles planted between those 2 cutouts. Up to this point, if you notice, you see that the fencing actually passed be outside of where they have the drainage wall, right? And from here going back down behind me towards the north, they have the fencing planted in line with where they have the drainage wall on the side. So I guess the way they're doing it now here is saving them a lot more time and a lot more concrete, because what actually happens is that when they finish doing the blocks, okay, they have to then put on that concrete crown over the blocks, and then when they start doing the fence again, they have to use concrete to put down the fence on the outside. So what they're doing actually now behind me going towards the east, the north, is a easier way, and a less material is going to be used, because the same crowning on the blocks, it might be a bit higher in some on the outside, but the same crowning that they're going to use on the blocks with the poles planted between the blocks, they're going to just do one concrete works there and complete the whole thing. So it makes more sense the way they're doing it now up at the top up there than how it was being done down here by putting the concrete works, the fencing on the outside of the drain. But I guess as we go along, we learn and we understand things a bit better and look at easier way and better means of doing the work and getting it done in less time and with less spending. Here we are on the western side of the site where they're doing this drain heading towards the north over there. Now inside of the drain we have water, because the water is blocked up at the top up there because of the fact that it cannot get to run out. So as you can see where the water is running from the south towards the north with a slight gradient we have here. All the water settled up over there where the caterpillar is doing, the backhoe is doing the opening of that trench over there. The guys are on their mid-morning break, so you see them sitting around here having a little snack this morning. And we have the fencing poles are being planted. We have some holes here. We have the boxing for the poles and the concrete works already put in place here. So very soon, as a matter of fact, the guys who are on the break here, they are the ones who are putting in the poles here. And you can see over on the eastern side, we also have guys putting in the poles. And also on the eastern side down there, we have guys putting up the barbed wire on the fencing. So we have 3 different sections of fencing guys working here at the same time with regards the fencing of these poles. So as soon as these poles are put in position and they're actually set, plumb and squared off, the concrete truck will come and pour the concrete into the hole and start the necessary filling up of this area. Well, here we have this area above us. It's an area where they would have dumped a lot of the stuff from the airport site and this bank side. You remember one time there was a structure up there where they used to store a lot of the stuff for the IADC office. Well, the structure is gone and all the stuff's moved back onto the site down at the building area. Now we have this caterpillar here clearing the area, because where the caterpillar is working is along this area we're going to have the fencing passing. So all this area where I'm at standing right now, we're going to be filled with dirt to a level and grade off towards where the drain will be passing, where the fencing will be. So there the caterpillar is doing the preparation work right now, as you can see there, and taking away that bank side, pushing the dirt away. This dirt will be moved and put in certain areas where it is needed to be filled. And all this dirt from off of this hill, I don't know if they're going to take down all of it, what they're going to do, but a lot of it will be used, if in fact they're taking down like how they do in this area where they do the terracing there. If in fact that is what they're doing, a lot of this stuff up there will be dumped in other areas on the site to fill it up in areas where they need filling. Now where you're seeing all these stakes on the ground here, all these stakes on the ground here is where they're going to do some earthworks later on. Here at the northern end of the runway, where they would have already done some asphalting, the second and first and second layer, I am now seeing some preparation work here done for the final layer of base stones here to bring this area of the runway to the level to where we are looking at here right now. Right in front of us here, they are going to bring it up to this level here to flush it with the area before they start to spray on the asphalt work. Well, the guys are putting down the stakes. Those, we have wooden stakes, and next to the wooden stakes they are putting some steel stakes, and on these steel stakes they're going to draw the line, and on this line it is going to be used as a guide for the asphalt, the stone layer, to know how high the stone is going to pass. So those who are operating that piece of equipment will have an idea as to a guide of the level and the gradient of the area here on the runway where they're doing. This is the north end looking back towards the south. They have already done all that area, passing, heading towards the 220 tunnel. The guys are actually down there doing some work, putting the stakes into place, doing the necessary measurement, and putting down the steel stakes that they're supposed to put down. So not too long from now, we're going to have more stones being placed in this area of the runway that is left to be done. This is the 3rd kilometer, and this is the area where we have from the north, where they have already done some work, going across the river down to the 191, the 2 spanning areas here on the site. So yes, we are here on the what you call it, the 220, and you see they are going forward with the stone, and we have a second layer of stone, as you would know, to go on here, and this will be done in quick time because the guys are behind me, Idel and the Cuban worker and the other Vincentian workers. They are laying down the steels, the piece of equipment down there that are laying down that is laying down the stones right now. The first set of stone that will be coming back up there and laying down a second layer, and this machine that is laying down the stone, it is doing it so quickly so that you can see we have a considerable amount of work, and it is being done this way because the area here is properly prepared. It is not an area that is bumpy. It was well graded to the shape of what it's supposed to be. So laying down the stone is as easy as kiss hand. They're just using the same method to lay down the first layer of base stone as they would use to lay down the second layer. In some areas where the groundwork is not properly done, they will dump the stones down, and then the grader will grade it off, and then they will compact it to suit the position. But in this area where they had to fill up this area, when they were filling it up, they did the work in such a way so that now they're laying down the stone, they can use the stone laying machine to do the work much faster rather than having the trucks dumping the load, as we have seen down there further down, rather than having the trucks dumping the stones and then we have them grading off and compacting. This area, the 220 area, this was done in such a way that the stone layer can lay the stone and finishing the work much faster. I am now going over the area where we have the beginning of the 220 to see what has happened over there. Last week when I visited here, we had a caterpillar here was just pushing down the bankside. Now across this area, it's an area that was used by vehicular traffic to get back just above the bridge on the main road, coming down in the back up there. The roadway is there so that they could take you up on top the hill where we're going to have the DME station on top of the hill. Now last week we were here, the caterpillar was pushing down this area. We had a lot of stones down on the side of the river, of the spanning here. Now that I'm back here this week, you can see the difference. The area has been leveled off, cut down, and now we have some stones there to help the trucks, the vehicles that are moving, so that they wouldn't stick in the dirt. And you can see the level from which this bank was cut from, because it was up to that level up there where we have, and now all the dirt has been pushed into the space next to the 220 here on the side, and now we have this area, one level area. Last week when I was here, I couldn't walk on this spot because we had a lot of stones and still areas to be filled up. Now we have a lot of boulders underneath here and with dirt mixed in to bring this area up to the level that it is now. We know down on the eastern side it has been filled right up with dirt. I am not quite sure as yet if they're going to take this up to that height like the eastern end. I am still looking because, and I can't see if they're going to bring it up, you know, down on the eastern side, they fill up with dirt and it has come right up to the level flush with the edge of the wall down there on the eastern side of the 220. Now I don't know if the same thing is going to happen here, if they're going to fill up all here with dirt also, but I will have to watch and see. And as you can see over there on the north end, the caterpillars continue to push the dirt away, because this area here is where the fencing is going to pass and to head somewhere up on top the hill up there where we have the Petroglyph Hill. How high up, I don't know. And yet I don't know also if the bank side they're taking down there will be coming down to ground level so that the fencing can pass over in that area. But this is where we have gotten to the end where the river comes down. All here you can see right now I am actually at the end of where the river starts here, the mouth of it. And last week I could not have stand where I'm standing right now to look down there and in the river. I could have stand, yes, on the concrete side of the tunnel there where they have the river passing, but I was not able to pass here because all here was not like this. It was more or less like what we are looking at here right in front of us. It was like this area here, but like I've told you and you would have seen in last week's video where the caterpillar was here doing some work and laying off this, bringing down this area here. And now you can see for yourself the work that has been done here since my last visit last week. Here at the back of the fire station we have some surveying work going on, and which tells me that something is going to happen around here soon, probably the concrete works. I'm not quite sure, but also we're supposed to have some fencing work to enclose this area of the fire station. I'm trying to figure out how they're going to deal with the fencing in this area, because naturally they won't be taking the fencing all the way up along the eastern side. They have to leave that area out where the fire tender is going to move from the fire station on standby whenever there is an aircraft. Remember, the fire tender has to have access to the runway, all around the runway, to ensure that everything is okay. That's a normal routine they have to do to avoid any danger of the aircraft. They will have to do the necessary checks of the runway to ensure that there is no dead animals, nothing, no obstacle at all in the way. So I was wondering now, when they're doing the fencing, how are they going to really do it in this area? If they're going to come down to this area and go around at the back of the seaside area of the fire station, or are they going to come across and then come down in line with the building? I do not know yet, but this is something that we'll have to wait and see what will happen. If you notice, the fencing had gotten to that point and it has not really come anywhere down, because within this area we have the compound of the fire station. And to this point here on the south side we also have where the fencing have reached. So how they're going to do it in this area, maybe they can come straight across in this area here and go around, I don't know. But as time progresses we're going to get to see exactly how it is going to happen. But they must leave out that space for the fire tender to get from the fire station right out to the runway area and around the runway. This is the point to where we have gotten with the asphalt work, and also the point to where they have gotten with the laying of the conduit. Now on the side here of the runway, on the runway edge, You can see there already installed one of the runway edge lights. Now this is just the first one, or let me say this is the end so far to where they have got. They have to go continue up towards the north, but from here going back to the south, I can see all the lights are already in. I actually come to start from this one to show you where it has gotten to, but as I look ahead in a line straight down, I can see a lot of yellow objects, and on top of them we have that white light. That light is called the runway edge light. It is located on the shoulder section of the runway and going all the way down on the eastern side of the runway. So I don't know if they're going to leave them there or if they're just putting them there to have them tested. But this is what we have here regarding the lights on the edge of the runway, on the eastern side of the runway at the Argyle airport site. Here is another one there, so as you can see, right there already fitted up. Just a while ago I showed you up at the top where they have the runway edge light. That was on the north side. Now this is on the south end, and this is as far as where they have gotten placed the light. The other fittings, there isn't any light mounted on them down at the bottom heading towards the turning head on the south. I am not quite sure. I don't think they're going to leave them in, because it wouldn't make sense leaving them in there until we're actually ready for them. But this is what we have, and I'm heading back out from the site because my battery for my still camera is dead, and it does not make sense me staying here for any long period. Now on the Argyle Hill, when we passed up this morning, there wasn't any activity there, but now that I am back down, you are seeing trucks, heavy equipment, drill on the hill. A lot of activity going on down here as they remove the soil that was pushed over the bank side there by the caterpillar, and it's still being pushed over by the caterpillar. Trucks are moving them to whatever area on the site that they are choosing to put them. The trucks are moving them away from the Argyle Hill here to that particular area on the site where they choose to dump these dirt.